Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Gonzii and today we are going to be reacting to another casual geographic video, this time called Nature is So Disrespectful. So without further ado, let's react to this thing, man. Shout out to the trim. Barber did amazing job, so yeah, let's go. Drink water as
things
always.
nature ever put in the ocean. Here we have a Kardashian, aka a black swallower. This
Oh my
with
god!
Gobble, swallow. Basically, Cardi B things are actually bigger than they are. This deep sea deep throat will shove anything down its gullet and die trying, like a whore. This Caucasian cockroach is an isopod. They're related to crabs, and just like them, they have claws that at the worst can give you an unforgiving pinch. But they're only really a threat to your mental health because they can grow to 2.5 feet long. But nothing I say can compare to the horrors Reddit has to offer. The bobbit worm is
looks like an alien from Alien Isolation.
Love hose off. They have scissors for jaws and they can grow to 10
Those
inches.
things are huge, you know.
Feet long.
My hand hurts, bro. I burnt myself. Look at that. Baking cookies, bro. Look at that.
If this satanic water worm isn't vaulted in the next patch, then I know nature is not on our side. The sarcastic fringe head is a sick joke with no punchline.
It looks like a metapod, bro.
Any animal that gets caught in their hood. Fringe heads will fade each other by pressing their mouths together in the most sus square up you'll ever see. This fish doesn't even look like it's supposed to exist. It looks like a draft that got leaked. Top 5 animals
really
with
does,
black
yeah.
Air Force energy.
Okay.
And number 5, and this might surprise you, but the house cat. House cat's one of the few animals that kill for
They
fun
don't
and
care.
on murking sprees just because. Even though they
Just
literally
feed
have
them, bro.
provide for them. They've already made it out the trenches, but they still choose genocide. To the point where they can clap entire species.
Sorry?
Number 4 are the demons on wings called geese. They're not the biggest or the most dangerous, but no other bird chooses to be a menace to society more often. At least magpies can be reasoned with. But geese enter the world hating you and your loved ones on a very spiritual level. Number 3 are chimpanzees. These homicidal tendencies with thumbs commit acts of gang violence on each other, and the outcome is ugly. Because when they jump a rival, they'll tear out the throat and the family jewels. These walking steroids will vibe check anything, and they don't need a reason to. Orcas don't need a reason either. These Jeffrey Dahmers of the sea are smart enough to blow the entire animal kingdom and big enough to never get checked for it. They G-slap seals to the clouds, violate great white sharks, and are overall menaces to anything in the ocean. Honey badgers are easily number 1 because they will die before they care.
Bro.
No animal has more rational confidence than a honey badger. It's a void stuff that steps to lions and hyenas. Honey badgers
get stung by venomous snakes and just sleep it off, bro.
Because they're legally blind, they overcompensate by choosing assault every time. They literally keep that same energy with lions, trucks, and butterflies because they're born with a disability and they make it the entire world's problem. At 4, we got Tasmanian devils, named after their temper tantrums, which sound like a satanic prostate exam. These marsupials select violence no matter what the situation, and even the sacred process of mating involves biting, scratching, and a lot of regret. Also, only 4 out of the 30 born will survive. The rest get spawned by the mother.
We found out on the last video, man.
They hold grudges and they will wait years to get their revenge.
They do.
They've been known to track down hunters that did them dirty and personally
and they will actively hunt humans.
Bees are somehow worse because unlike the tiger, which handles fate's dolo, beefing with one bee means you beef with the entire hive. Africanized honeybees will chase ops for up to half a mile. And if you think hiding in water will spare you the vibe check, they'll clap you the moment you come up for air. Cape buffalo are number 1 because they literally have the personality of a melanated Air Force. They will violate you for no reason, but God help you if you give them a reason. They'll purposely lead you into tall grass just to Ray Rice you into the dirt when you're not looking.
No Ray Rice you, bro.
Knowing too much because every once in a while I find out something that makes me want to eye wash with holy water. Here's 3 facts that made me want to purge my internet history. I'll never forget the day I found out that dolphins will actively try to take the innocence of people like Demi Moore. And of course, this also led me to the fact that dolphins have 12-inch retractable spunk cannons. And they're prehensile, meaning they have a fleshy pink hand that they can use to reach and grab things they're not supposed to. Things like living eels. Fact number 2, something about a tank with antlers being able to dive 20 feet just seems to dive. Knowing that a whole moose can pull up on you underwater is bad enough.
Can you imagine, bro, you are snorkeling, just watching coral and that, and you just look to your left, bro, and there's a fucking moose just swimming with you, bro. Nah! I would be terrified.
The fact that they can end up getting clapped by orcas. Moose and overgrown homicide dolphin is a crossover that nobody ever asked for. But by far the most disturbing animal fact I've ever learned, and this one's bad. It's everything about this. For every penguin you see, a seal receives a feathery fleshlight because that's how they treat them. And watching a seal bump and grind while the penguin soullessly lays there and takes it while his homies no doubt slut shame and make me seriously question the way I see the world. Bump and grind. Where did I hear that from? Of course he did. Animals that are much meaner than you think. This Oreo horse is a menace. Male zebras will sight wipe.
They are not domesticatable, if that's a word. You know what I mean? We cannot domesticate it.
Might be wondering why
English,
we never
bro.
ride zebras.
Jesus Christ.
Kick your lights out
I forgot to speak English then.
Because this tiger pony has rage issues. Penguins are sins with wings. Their moral rap sheet includes adultery, prostitution, child abuse, and cell block beating each other. But the worst crimes are the ones they commit on children. Penguin mothers that lose their chick will fill that vast empty void inside them by stealing someone's baby. But I guess the void isn't that empty because after a couple days they'll abandon the newly adopted chick to either starve or become a feathery popsicle. Also, these tuxedo chickens will stick their phallus in anything, and unfortunately, penguin chicks are anything. Squirrels are vicious, baby-faced psychopaths. Male red squirrels will erase any babies he sees, sometimes squad-wiping an entire generation. The murder rodent will cannibalize the children and shoot a shot at the tragedy-stricken mother in an attempt to recreate the family that he just took off the census. They are not to be trusted. Here are some animals that really said, F them kids.
Fuck them kids, bro. No MJ.
Overstuffed Oreo alive just for them to be F-tier parents. If she has twins, she'll flip a coin and raise only one. The other one has no choice but to go itself. Pandas aren't endangered, but sometimes it feels like they want to be. You know exactly where this is going. When chased by a predator, the mother quokka will relax the muscles in its pouch to allow the baby
just let it go.
To fall out. Since this distracts the predator, the mother will get away while her baby suffers a third-party abortion. Mother of the year, but guess what? Kangaroos and wallabies will do the exact same thing. You watch this show, it literally happened to him in the theme song. If a mother
gotta preserve the next generation, man.
Children. The idea is that
the mother just sacrifices the kid
into a predator. Logically makes sense. Morally, it makes her Casey Anthony with spikes. Baby birds typically get hugged by their parents. The baby shoebill stork will bully its little brother until he's nothing but a memory and a pile of feathers. Not only will the mother deliberately watch this happen, she'll only feed the stronger, meaner chick. Maybe if she got a welfare check, she'd be a better parent. But there's no checks in the wallet, so it's curtains, kid. Some of the weirdest animals people have been ended by. A beaver caught a body when a 60-year-old fisherman tried to take a picture of the ungrateful rodent. Fun fact, actually,
how do you get killed by a beaver, bro?
You on life support. The beaver severed an artery in his leg and he couldn't stop the bleeding, so that was his obituary. Death by beaver. A Spanish popcorn star got clapped by a toad by inhaling psychedelic poison. He used a pipe to inhale the powerful bufotoxin that is so potent it's literally called a god molecule. But then he got so elevated his soul divorced his body and never came back. Remember, kids, don't do drugs. Unless you're on Wall Street, but in that case, use baking soda like an adult, don't do toad. Alexander I was the king of Greece who ruled from 1917 to 1920. And out of all the things that could have canceled his life, war, disease, a jealous ex, the one thing that put his face on the picture frame was a monkey. He was walking his dog when a Barbary macaque assaulted his German shepherd.
Not a macaque, bro.
Dog owner, he stepped in and pulled the monkey off of his dog. But when he did, he basically got snuck by a second monkey. He got bit and later developed a severe infection.
Bro got double teamed.
So the king of Greece expired to monkey bite. C's, but with me as a teacher. A is for Arthur, who was actually an aardvark. B is for no, that's not a real bird. C is for coke weasel, which is the best way to describe this. D is for dinosaur and drag, which is literally what this is. E is for everyone's favorite animal, and if it isn't, you're wrong. F is for shark, also stands for G is for gay, which 90% of giraffes are. H is for hell, where this forbidden Pokemon spawned from.
RP
I is for iguana, but if you told me it was baby Godzilla, I'd believe you. J is for jaguar. K is for kite, which is kangaroo will send like. L is for the one this outback ostrich handed the entire country of Australia. M is for murder horse. N is for
murder horses.
O is for ocelot, which raised a certain pharmacist. P is for platypus, which violated the same pharmacist. Q is for quokka. R is for trash panda. S is for sloth. T is for Taz the homicidal Looney Tune. U is for Yukari. V is for Vaquita. W is for Wumbo, which moose are. X is for X-ray fish. Y is for why does this exist? Z Zorilla, giving animals rice purity scores. Dogs aren't easy 100. You can argue they're the most selfless animal in the world, and they'd easily give their lives for people that probably don't deserve it. Horses are 95. They could easily rock us if they wanted to, but they're
X as well. Oh, horses are great.
The reason they're not higher, Google what animal causes the most deaths in Australia, and you'll see why. Sharks are at 75 because although they can be dangerous, one, they're just trying to eat like the rest of us, and two, they kill less than 5 people a year. There are much worse things in the ocean, and one of them's on this list. Hippos are at 45 because they seem to have beef with everything. They'll maul you for no reason, and they'll actively abort any baby hippos they see. You gotta have a severe moral deficiency to use lethal force.
Already saw that on the last video as well.
Also, they will resort to cannibalism. This might surprise you, but zebras are just above them. Zebras are incredibly vicious, and they also spawn kill. They'll also assault and bully any pregnant females to force them to miscarry just so they can mate with them. They're black and white, but their sense of morality isn't. Ducks are at 30 because when you're constantly evolving,
ducks are menaces, bro.
You're not gonna get a lot of points from me. I can make a whole video on how morally bankrupt dolphins are, but the worst part is they're smart enough to know exactly what they're doing. So these humans of the sea
on the channel, that video about dolphins already.
Elephants are an easy 100 on the pure scale. If one does something to you, I promise you deserved it. Honey badgers are an 80 because they believe in equality. No matter who you are or where you came from, the honey badger will hate you and your loved ones on a very personal level and will act accordingly. This alpha weasel is actually an equalizer, a chaotic neutral, a harbinger of destruction but a symbol of equal rights and equal fates. Meerkats are at 15 because no other mammal wakes up and chooses murder more often. But
no other mammal kills as many
the alpha female will abort
animals as meerkats. Is insane.
To raise her children. Like Casey Anthony got reincarnated as a Serengeti bush rat. Penguins are at 12 because they check every depraved box. Rape without a G, prostitution, child abuse, but the worst is that they'll commit atrocities on dead females. A scientist once placed a disembodied frozen head of a penguin to see if males would respond. And they responded with their penis. That same scientist went on to make a therapist very rich. Otters are a 5. They do the same things penguins do, but since they also cause bee baby seals, you can have pedo business and bestiality to the purity rap sheet. They also can't tell the difference between a consenting female and a lifeless corpse. Here's what the toughest animals are afraid of. I know what you're thinking, but it's not mice. Elephants are terrified of bees and will get visibly agitated when they hear the buzz of a beehive.
Makes sense.
That's because a swarm of African bees with hood mentality can drop an elephant, and that's also why farmers use fake hives to scare elephants away from their fields. Sharks fear dolphins, and for good reason. Pods of dolphins will attack and ram sharks hard enough to cause internal injuries.
Saved people already
will
with
go out of their way to bully sharks for no reason, even playing volleyball with baby sharks just because. I didn't even mention the way they get eviscerated by orcas. Believe it or not, hyenas actually fear lions. That's because lions have been known to paralyze hyenas and leave them to suffer, not even granting them the sweet release of death. They'll stand up to them if they have a numbers advantage, but Simba's body odor is enough to get a hyena laughing in fear, which they actually do. Wolves have been known to stand up to bears and cougars, but they're actually afraid of the most dangerous animal in us.
They are afraid of us.
Wild wolves would rather do to dash and be near a homicidal hairless primate armed with thumbs and guns. So for us, the most dangerous wolves are the ones on Wall Street. Animals are afraid of part 2.
As well.
A lot of horses have a fear of water, especially if they can't see how deep it is or if the bottom is muddy or rocky. Horses are wired to avoid uncertain ground, especially since breaking a leg is an unpardoned death sentence. Goats also hate water. It's possible they evolved to hate getting their hooves wet since slipping and falling would make them vulnerable to predators. Not only do gorillas also distrust water, they've been recorded showing fear towards insects and reptiles. Gorillas have been seen going out of their way to avoid caterpillars and chameleons. Llamas hate and fear dogs because they remind them of predators like coyotes and the fox. Which is good because guard llamas can protect your farm from coyotes and feral dogs. It's bad when a llama racially profiles your dog and bicycle kicks it to another area code. Emus are also dog racists because they constantly get pressed by dingoes. Cats really don't like snakes. Even though cats like leopards can kill a python, they'll typically avoid them because the risk of getting bit is just too high. If a cat takes down a snake, it's probably because the snake pressed him first. Cats are genetically hardwired to not trust snakes, so the fastest way to humble your cat is to pull out a cucumber. Not like that. Not like that.
Great video once again, man. There you have it, guys. That was another Casual Geographic banger, bro. This time about disrespectful some animals are, which animals are afraid of what. Phenomenal content once again. But yeah, guys, before you go, don't forget download videos on the channel, man. Keep God first as always. Drink water, go tell somebody you love them. But if you're here, you know what to do, man. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. My name is Gonzii, and see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye.